Welcome to episode 181 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And Cameron, if we were riding high on the majesty that was A Better World last week with the Justice Lords, we have come crashing back down to Earth very severely this week.
Yes.
With our new two-parter, Eclipsed.
These were rough.
These are really rough.
I described to you beforehand, my idea for these episodes is basically like the first 75% is like an average to slightly above average Superman episode.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, in comparison to Superman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
But then the back half of part 2 is absolute garbage.
There's a lot...
science, bullshit, nonsense.
There are a lot of contrivances that try and make all of this come together in a way that is supposed to be satisfying.
Yeah, there's two great things about this episode. The commercials, Flash becoming a great actor.
Yeah.
And Green Lantern making his first real construct.
I had a note about that.
Of course he did, yeah, because that's all we talk about now. But everything else, the other 40 minutes of content in these episodes is, I mean, maybe it's just because, like, we've grown so used to good episodes again, and like we've lost the shell that we grew for Zeta and putting up with this stuff.
Actually, that's a good point. Like, because there's a lot of stuff in season 1 of Justice League that's kind of just okay.
Yeah.
But it's certainly better than, say, the final season of Static, or especially Zeta. Like, yeah, I think you're right. We kind of like maybe gave it a bit of a pass by comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But now we've had great Justice League. And so whenever we get even just kind of like mediocre or underwhelming Justice League, we're just like, oh.
It's a slog.
It is. But I mean, the nice thing is that this week, not so much, but next week, The Terror Beyond is going to be really good.
Which I started watching.
You started
incorrectly.
And you had to ask, which ones are we watching? And
yeah, because I remember you saying, like, oh, I don't remember these episodes last week. And I'm like, oh, but there's like Grundy and Aquaman and Dr. Fate. I'm like, how do you not remember these?
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah.
Those are great episodes. But no, we had to do Eclipse this week, which were not quite so there. But most of the rest of the season is going to be pretty solid, actually.
Yeah.
Like, there's only one that I think is probably okay. The rest of it I know are all pretty good. Mm-hmm. So we just get through this week, and we're back on track. Great time had by all.
Yeah. If I can throw out one super quick piece of news, because it is technically DC related.
Okay.
DC Finite
right.
is officially up.
That's true. It's officially launched.
Yes.
I haven't looked at it yet to see what isn't on there.
Yeah. Well, my subscription ended. So.
Oh, okay.
So we can't.
We can't. Oh, good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I did hear along those lines that Justice League will be on HBO Max starting February 1st.
About time.
So I'm hoping it's going to be both Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, so we can go back to watching these in better definition than like the standard def DVDs that I have, and I think you're probably watching on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, with no subtitles either, which is driving me insane.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know these things. If I'm taking notes, subtitles help a lot.
There's part of me that kind of wishes Amazon would post some of these.
Oh,
because I love their like little trivia things on the
little
side.
X-ray thing to get the little bits of trivia.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Because I'm sure those are all. Well, no, they have a deal with IMDb. Do they own IMDb?
They own IMDb.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's why they're all up there.
Yeah, exactly. So
okay.
basically, they just interwoven the IMDb, database in terms of like the actors, who's in the scene, and then also the trivia. Mm-hmm. And you can just like watch little things on the side because you actually watch on your computer, which I guess makes a difference.
Yeah.
Like they don't have X-ray in the same way if you watch it on your TV.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But also, I know why you miss it. It saves you having to go to the effort of looking up the trivia.
Yes.
It saves you a step.
3 clicks.
It's so much work. I'm so sorry, Cameron.
It is.
I know this has really been a burden on you.
I looked up no trivia for this episode. I had no care for this episode.
I had to look up trivia, so I had something to talk about.
Okay.
But
I have a lot of questions.
Okay, good. I might have some answers. I dove into some of the comic background to try and explain what is supposed to be happening here.
Yeah. Lizard people are happening.
Yep. Snake people for no goddamn reason whatsoever. So we'll go ahead and dive into this here with Eclipsed parts 1 and 2. And so we're just going to talk about it all at once. I'm just going to run through the whole summary here.
Yeah, this is all you.
So we can get into the meat of it and not try and follow this like very complex, interwoven, ultimately unnecessary plot. So basically, in this one, it opens with some soldiers hunting down a foreign dictator, like in some mysterious desert area. And while out there, they uncover a mysterious gemstone buried in the desert, which I guess is called the Black Heart or the Dark Heart or the Heart of Darkness.
Dark Heart.
Okay.
Not the Dark Crystal.
Okay.
But it's what we will call it from now on.
Because even the DCAU wiki page didn't have a consistent naming for it. So I was just going off of the dialogue that I had to hear and couldn't read. But basically, one of the soldiers picks up the gem, and then he's possessed by these ancient snake spirits, and he sets off on a quest to destroy as many mammals as possible. That's his biggest concern. How many mammals can I kill? Right? So ultimately, that goal will lead him through possessing several military officers and eventually possessing the Justice League itself, where they try to launch an anti-fusion device into the sun to collapse it and cast the world in eternal darkness.
Those cold-blooded assholes.
Exactly. So while all that is happening, at the same time, The Flash has started doing sponsorships.
Love it. Best part of the episode.
Best part of the episode. But it definitely gets him in hot water and puts him squarely in the targets of an anti-Justice League TV personality, Glorious Gordon Godfrey. We'll get more to him. But as the Flash tries to redeem his image, he makes things worse until he's the pariah amongst the Justice League. And then wouldn't you know it, of course, eventually he becomes the last Leaguer not possessed by ancient snake people, and he has to save his friends before he can save the world.
Yes. This would have been a better Teen Titans episode. And I'm trying to think, Teen Titans must have done something similar.
Okay.
Because the closest one I can remember is The Terror Within, which I think is like season 1, episode 5-ish.
That sounds familiar. At least the title sounds familiar.
It's where they all watch a horror movie together, and
Okay.
Raven is too scared to admit that she's scared because, suppress emotion.
Oh, that's right.
And so she accidentally constructs the shadow monster from the movie that is creeping its way through the tower and kind of capturing the other.
See, that sounds great.
It's a great episode. Yeah.
We should just watch that.
We should have just watched that.
Yes. Look, it's just they made some really, really odd choices here. Like
A lot of odd choices. There's lizard people, Chris.
There's just snake people for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I try to understand why they made the choices
They're
they
called
did.
Ophidians.
The Ophidians.
We're gonna start with that. They're called Ophidians.
Which I guess Ophidia or Ophidius is Greek for snake. And so that's why, because I looked up to try and see, are there actual Ophidians in the DC comics? There's a character, I think, named Ophidian, who has to do with the Orange Lanterns. That's the greedy one, right?
Yeah.
Avarice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I guess he's one of the greedy.
Interesting, because there's only one Orange Lantern.
Maybe he was one of them at some point. Were there multiple ones?
Laissez-faire. No.
Sorry, what?
Not laissez-faire.
Larfleeze.
There it is.
Is the name of the greedy lantern was not laissez-faire or a derivation of that? Shocking. Okay.
Larfleeze.
Maybe
he kills all the Orange Lanterns.
Right.
That's how greedy he is.
Well, I think this was one of the ones he killed then.
Or it's probably one of the constructs. Because he gets lonely in universe.
Okay.
Because he gets lonely and because he is too scared to ever leave his lantern.
Yeah.
Or the battery.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's the only lantern, he gets the full power of his lantern.
Okay.
So it's not splitting with anybody.
Right, yeah.
So he basically makes sentient constructs
which
act as his orange agents.
Okay. They should have done that.
Yeah.
Instead. Literally anything else we talk about, they should have just done that instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Ophidians don't exist. So but all this is loosely based off a villain called Eclipsed. Because when I saw the thumbnail of the guy in the weird purple mask, he kind of looks
That's right. Okay, yeah. He kind of it's almost like fish-ish, like aquatic.
Kind
looking.
of a little bit. Like he's got a purple black, almost like jester style costume, and then he's got a partial blue moon over his face. And he kind of looks like Malekith the Accuser from Marvel, more the comic book version of it than the one that was in Thor the Dark World. But I remember when I saw...
Oh, no, this is not who I was thinking of.
Okay, yeah, it's a different thing then.
Yeah.
But when I saw the image of him, I remember the phrase Eclipsed came to mind, maybe because of the title. But I'm like, okay, but he's not the villain, so what's going on here? And so I did a little bit of background research.
Good for you.
Exactly, yes. So Eclipsed in the comics apparently is an incarnation of the Wrath of God and the Angel of Vengeance, and basically was, in most canons, considered a precursor to Spectre. This guy existed, was kind of doing the Spectre's job, took it too far, became a villain, got his powers taken away, whatever, got kicked out. The Spectre came in to take his place. But there were elements of the character from the comics in this episode. So in this one, it's just like when the Eclipso persona emerges, it's, what is it? I wrote the name down and I've already lost my notes. It's one of the generals, basically. He dresses up like Eclipso, and what I thought was maybe one of the good moments in the episode when he's just asking, how would I get the Justice League's attention to one of his captains? And the captain says, oh, just like dress up in a garish costume and threaten people.
Yeah.
So he does that.
Blows up a power plant.
He blows up a power plant. But the original origin of the character from the comics is a scientist named Bruce Gordon. Yes, it is named after Bruce Wayne and Jim Gordon.
They really stretched for this one.
But he's out watching a solar eclipse, and he's attacked by a tribal sorcerer named Mofir, who is in this episode.
Yep.
So there's some connection there.
Who's now an actor.
Which is great. But before plunging to his death off a cliff, Mofir wounds Gordon with a black diamond, and then afterwards, Gordon is transformed into the villainous Eclipso whenever an eclipse happens. So, like, those pieces are kind of there, right? It's kind of there.
Okay, so with that, and I know you're not the person to ask because you also just learned about this.
I'm literally reading notes that I copied off of Wikipedia.
Yeah, so I learned recently that eclipses aren't super rare.
No, they happen fairly regularly, right?
Yeah, just in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And so, like, an eclipse in the West Coast might be rare.
Right.
But yeah, I guess there's probably like one a year.
He does a lot of travel.
Yeah, does he have to be in? Is it the length of the eclipse? Is he only Eclipso for the 6 minutes?
I think so.
Great.
I mean, it's comic book logic.
Yeah.
Right? So they take something
honestly, 6 minutes once a year, like, fine.
I guess. I hope you get a lot done.
It's like the best version of a werewolf.
Because the character is even considered kind of a joke in the comics. Like, he wasn't taken very seriously. He was just like a generic B villain.
Yeah.
Basically. But then in the 90s, of course, they retconned his origin.
Good.
Just ever so slightly. So now, when they retconned him, now he's a vengeance demon whose soul had originally been bound inside a giant black diamond called the Heart of Darkness. So
the Dark Crystal. Exactly,
the Dark Crystal. So those pieces are in there. Now, the snake thing was entirely original to this episode.
And bad.
I don't know what it adds. Like, I guess they wanted to give it a specific origin, but it all just felt very silly. Because, like, the backstory we get in the Ophidians is that there was once, like, this race on Earth, right?
Yeah, on Earth.
Earth.
So this is my first question. These are Viking era, from what we can kind of see.
It looks like it, yeah.
They're not Neanderthals.
No, yeah, it's not like Vandal Savage.
So there's my question. Where's Vandal Savage?
I mean, he's off probably conquering another part of the world as a Viking.
Yeah, but he would know about this.
I mean, Cameron, communication wasn't super fast back then.
No, but this isn't like a 3-day war.
I mean,
it sounds like it was like half the planet was human, half the planet was Ophidians.
I don't know if it was quite that extreme. I get the sense that maybe this is more like a local thing, wherever this was.
Okay, it's
like
just a small.
It was a small band, like a small section of snake men had evolved in this one specific region of the world.
Great.
And we're conflicting with the people who, let's be honest, like, the snake people were probably there first, and then humans showed up.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And we're like, we want this land.
Probably led by Vandal Savage.
And the snake people are just like...
Yeah. They can't say his name, and he got really upset by it.
Savage.
Yeah, they can't get a good V. They kept calling him Sandal Savage. He got so mad. He's like, fuck this, I'm just going to kill you guys.
He thought they were making fun of his sandals, which he thought were rather fashionable for the time.
Yeah, he just invented them.
Yeah. Vandal Savage's greatest contribution to mankind, the invention of the sandal.
Yeah.
Honestly, it makes as much sense as the rest of the episode. I would buy it.
So, I'll save my ideas for how to make this episode better.
Okay.
Because there's an infinite number of possibilities.
Pretty much any other option.
Yeah.
Would have been better. So we basically know that this war was happening between the humans, these Vikings, and the Ophidians. And the Ophidians were nearly...
And also them being Vikings, it doesn't put them that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
Vikings were 11th century.
Yeah, and it's heavily implied that this is probably somewhere in the Middle East.
This is 1,000 years ago.
Yeah. So
there's evidence of this. People must have found fossils somewhere.
I mean, I don't really know my Viking history that well. Like, did the Vikings?
No, yeah,
conquer-
Vikings are no Vikings did not go south.
I feel like the Vikings didn't conquer the Middle East.
No,
So
certainly not.
and like it's unclear where this is. We're just kind of heavily implied that that's probably where it is, given the I can't remember the name of the guy they're hunting down. It's like Hassan or Fasan.
Vizon.
Yeah.
Vizon.
Exactly. And just given the terrain and like the military gear and stuff, it feels like it's heavily implying that it's a conflict in the Middle East somewhere. Also, given this was early 2000s, not too much of a stretch.
Or that
to
very
assume
well-known desert in Norway.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, that famous Scandinavian desert.
Yeah.
So it's out in like the desert somewhere, but basically the Ophidians are nearly extinct. So then they go through this ritual to take like the last dozen of their spirits and encase it in this black gem that anyone who grabs it is possessed by it. So then it's like buried away, and then these
they infused it with the will of their vengeance.
Their vengeance, exactly.
Yeah, so anyone who touches it is not burdened. They take on the vengeful rage against the mammals.
Against those damn mammals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Vikings just basically stayed there. There's like one sect of them, kind of like, the lone knight defending the Holy Grail, until all that's left is this spry, wiry old guy named Mofir.
Yeah.
Who carries around a little bright gem that he flashes at people, or he'll chop your head off.
Yeah.
What? You're like, where do I even begin on this?
When I first saw him, he kind of looked like a new god. I thought he might have been I thought this might have been magic from
okay.
What's their planet?
New Genesis.
Yeah. Because it's kind, it could have been some origin Kyber crystal. Kyber crystal.
The Star Wars
bullshit
Kyber crystals
mixed in with the mother box.
Excuse me, Mr. Non-Star Wars fan, throwing out Kyber crystals here.
Not a fan of Star Wars.
Just picking up some Kyber crystals from the planet Ilum.
Yeah, from its core, obviously.
Exactly.
Mixed in with the mother box, or like maybe there's like the heart of a mother box that was in its raw form before they kind of evolved the technology. Mm-hmm. There's so many sects of this they could have gone. We have magic already in universe. We've already met Clarion. We've already met. I can't go into this yet.
Etrigan. I get what you're saying, because it's weird, because in this universe, like you have a lot of gimmies, right? We have aliens, we have magic, we have like ancient.
I draw the line at lizard people.
Atlantean races, like. There's so many different places the origins of these characters can come from. Like, what is it if you throw in an ancient race of lizard people?
Yeah.
But it just, you feel like maybe it should be tied into Cobra somehow, because that already exists.
Yeah.
I
didn't even think about that. Yeah.
It felt weird for it to be its own completely unrelated thing to everything else. But to your point, the nature of its existence would had to have been kind of a big deal.
It's only been 1,000 years.
But it's fine. They've been extinct and buried in this gem.
Yeah.
But like,
no, their bodies were still there. The ceremony they held was probably ransacked and burned by the humans, because that's what we do best.
Yeah, it's true. We do.
Yeah, but like, there's archaeologists. They would have found something.
They would have found some sign of snake people.
There's a couple people that are over 1,000 years old that would know about this.
That's true. I mean, I guess the Amazons are already on their island, right?
Yeah, I'll give them a pass.
Yeah, but Vandal Savage, the Amazons, the Atlanteans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
And for sure the Atlanteans would know about lizard people. I feel like that's just an always conflict.
Were there also sea lizard people?
Probably.
Like sea snake people?
Yes. Eels. Eelmen.
Eel people?
Yeah.
Also would have been a better choice.
Yeah.
Yes. I would have rather seen an episode of Atlantis fighting eel people.
Sure. Anything else.
Anything but this. But like, so there's elements. There's enough elements here of Eclipso that you can tell that they wanted to cover that character for some reason, but they took anything, not that there's that much interest about that character, but they just injected all this other stuff that didn't make it very interesting at all. Like, even the overall big plot here, the stakes of like, oh my God, they're going to collapse the sun. You feel like they put those stakes in there because the villain never felt like a real threat.
Yeah. And it's what we talk about 1,000 times of going too big too fast.
Yep.
They went from, I mean, it did go pretty big pretty fast just in the beginning. It went from him, the first lizard possessed guy,
yeah,
the soldier, he gets a gun. He's like, how many people can I kill with this?
How many mammals?
How many
can
mammals
I kill
can I
with
kill
that
with this? Sorry,
specifically?
yes.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah. The other soldier driving was like, 7, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If you have good aim.
Yeah.
And then quickly went from gun to nuclear bomb.
Yep. I need nukes.
And then he saw superheroes,
Mm-hmm.
which they knew about, that they were like powered. They don't really talk about their powers or that they're like better than everyone else.
Wait, what do you mean they don't talk about that?
When the general has
He sees the Godfrey TV show.
yeah, but
Yeah.
he doesn't understand, like, if I see something on TV, I don't instantly know. Like, if I just see someone talking about Michael Jordan, obviously I know because I'm a human that lived the 90s. But that's a horrible example. Yeah, no, it's not. If I see someone talking about Michael Jordan, I don't know who Michael Jordan is or what basketball is.
Yeah.
That's not going to mean anything to me.
I mean, but don't they see, isn't it the clip of the Flash like running at super speed? And doesn't like Godfrey say like these are like godlike beings with all these
I guess
powers?
he does, yes.
Yeah, I guess I know what you mean. There's an evolution.
I would also call Michael Jordan someone with godlike powers.
Also, I think the reason you chose Michael Jordan is because you were just thinking of Space Jam. You're thinking about someone like seeing
Always.
someone famous on TV and going and taking their powers, and you're just like,
Yes.
if I were to give Michael Jordan a power like a magic basketball, I could steal his powers.
If I gave Michael Jordan a magic crystal called the Dark Crystal,
Yeah.
infused with the vengeance of lizard people,
You too.
I could take over the world.
You could, yeah. Or if you had, what was it like, Mike's shoes? If you had Michael Jordan's shoes?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. His magic shoes.
This is how much I don't care these episodes. I'm literally feeding you tangents.
Man, Lil Bow Wow.
Little Bow Wow, what a guy.
What a fall from grace.
But yeah, so like, yeah, it just there's this massive escalation. But the first half, like, nothing happens in the first half of the episode. Like the first part, it's basically just like a constant progression. Like, okay, I guess the very end of the episode, they finally fight the general in this not Eclipso guys,
Mm-hmm.
and then because Wonder Woman grabs the crystal, she's now possessed with this snake vengeance.
Yes, he's blowing up a power plant, which in turn, an electric factory.
Yes,
Which in turn,
son of a bitch. One person's gonna appreciate that.
which in turn ignites the methane in the sewer.
Yeah.
Can you put out a methane fire with water?
I don't know.
think so.
I'm not a chemist.
You were an engineer.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
No,
I don't think you can.
I don't. It does. Look,
I don't know why that's where I'm nitpicking.
it doesn't. Look, it doesn't make any sense. Like, no, this doesn't make sense. How the hell the general made it to what I presume is supposed to be Central City, right?
Yeah.
How the hell did he get there? Because like we just see him leave a base
In Norway's Middle East.
in Norway's Middle East, and then I guess maybe it just passed through a number of people. But it's like, how did he end up getting where he was?
Well, no, we saw the plane. We don't see him getting off the plane, but we see not Malekith. Mofir.
Yeah.
Who's Malekith? Is that from
No,
Thor?
Malekith was Thor. Yeah,
Okay.
I made reference to
Wow,
it.
that's a fucking pull.
Well, no, I made reference to it earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
paying great attention, Cameron.
I am. Mofir sneaks off the same plane in cargo.
Yeah, but why would they get on a plane? Why would Snake Dude get on a plane?
Because great question, Chris. Great question. Because I guess he had time to look up where Godfrey filmed his show.
It's all very coincidental. This is happening in the same city, in Flash's city, which also has where Godfrey is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, let's get into the Godfrey of it all. Let's get into the only redeeming part of this episode, which is the Flash's commercial career.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The singular beam of light on this glowing piece of smelly shit.
But unlike the gem in this, beam of lights won't save us.
Yes.
Yes.
God, that was such a bad fucking. Okay.
What was bad? My fourth joke there, or its existence in this episode?
The existence of a very specific crystal,
Yeah.
which just has light, and then just using a flashlight.
Yeah.
It's
great. It's great.
So Flash, it cuts from the desert
Mhm.
in Norway to Flash chasing down 3 rogues.
Yes. I mean, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, and him just like chilling in Central City.
He's Central City. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
chilling in Central City, doing his thing.
Yeah,
which we love to see. Like
Yeah.
that's the best. That's some of the best parts of JLU.
Right. We don't get to see a lot in this series of the individual heroes doing their thing in their own city.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see him go up against, it was what, Mirror Master, Heatwave, and Captain
Is
Boomerang.
that who the third guy was?
I'm pretty sure that's Heatwave. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not recognize him.
If it's not Captain Cold, it's Heatwave.
Yeah.
There's only so many Flash villains.
We learned there's a lot more in the Flash series.
Yeah, well, they got to pull from somewhere, don't they?
That's true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But even then, they're not all Flash villains, right? I mean, they're all just like various forms of speedsters.
And Music Meister.
The Music Meister. Yeah. Well, wait. No, Music Meister was created for Batman Brave and the Bold. But there was
Was
another.
he created for that
He
show?
was.
Wow.
He was, but there's another
That's
music.
such a 60s villain, though.
There is another. Wait. There is another.
Am I thinking Music Master?
I think Music Master.
Or
Wait.
Pied Piper?
There's the Maestro? Pied
There's-
Piper's real.
Yes.
Yeah. Whichever one Neil Patrick Harris played in Batman Brave and the Bold was an original character.
Okay.
But I think it was inspired by another character that does exist.
Okay.
There are multiple music-themed villains.
Yeah, because like there's no way no one in the 60s was like, let's make a villain about musicals.
There's probably one in the Batman TV show.
I'm sure
Because they
there
just
was.
created villains for that, too.
Yeah. Egghead.
Egghead, yeah. Oh, maybe the best holdover from that series. I love me some Vincent Price.
I mean, the best Lego.
Yeah, I had to get it.
I know.
Yeah. Plus, it came with Condiment King.
Sorry, the best Lego.
How could I not?
There's quick tangent. I've been doing a lot of what's the game called Jackbox
Okay, yeah.
recently with friends online,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a new game in Jackbox 7 where you're kind of it's a drawing game, so
Mhm.
obviously I love it, where you're drawing like two competitors to go against each other for a singular title.
Yeah.
And the cool twist to it is the first person who draws it gets the title they're fighting for,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second person
A
gets...
title worth fighting for.
Yes. Very off key.
Yes.
I can't
I can't
talk.
sing.
Yeah. But the second person does get the title. They get the first person's drawing and have to guess what the title is based off that.
Okay.
And then do their draw their competitor.
Oh, okay.
And one of my friends, and I'm very, because he's a comic nerd, and he would know, and I brought it up to him afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
His prompt was the King of Condiments, and I was so upset that he didn't just draw Condiment King.
Condiment King.
He's
What?
an illustrator. He works at Blizzard.
How does he not know this?
Yeah, he knows the character.
Then there's no
Yeah.
justification.
He
for that.
basically his response was only you would get it, and I need 3 votes to win.
Son of a bitch.
And I'm like, well, I'll make my vote count.
Son of a bitch. But yes, Condiment King, best Lego.
Yes.
What were we talking about? Oh, the Flash's commercials. He goes up against some of his famous rogues, but they're not actually real villains. They're just actors because he's shooting a commercial for an energy bar,
Yes.
which is fun.
Love it. It's so good.
It is good, especially because like the Flash does it just for the attention, one, but two, so he can buy himself the Flashmobile.
Yes. Which did we talk about that on air last week?
I don't think so.
Damn it. We had a conversation recently about the nonsense vehicles
Oh.
of mobile characters.
Well, yeah, because like I just bought a Lego set that had a spider jet.
That's what
a
it is.
Spider-Man jet in
Yes.
it. Yeah, because I wanted other pieces in the set.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like, why would Superman ever need any vehicles? Why would Spider-Man need a jet or a dune buggy or a motorcycle?
Yeah. Yeah, because in Ultimate Spider-Man, Nick Fury gives Peter Parker a spider cycle.
Yeah,
But he has to wait till he gets his driver's license. So
Yeah.
great Peter Parker
it's pretty
episode.
good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
But the cool thing about the motorcycle is it can shoot his web out.
Okay,
So he kind of shoots it between two buildings, and he like drives across
that's
the
clever.
web. Yeah, like that makes sense.
Okay, there's some justification there because there's no justification for the Flash having a van. They
Well, yeah,
can't
'cause-
go anywhere near his speed.
No, there's absolutely a reason. It's so him and another super friend can just casually drive across the American Midwest and just take in the scenes, you know?
Look, the Flash is always kind of ridiculous and always just doing his own thing and kind of absurd. Even that felt absurd. Like even that felt stupid.
Honestly, I loved it. I loved
Yeah,
that joke.
because he's just like, hey, GL, let's hop in the back of my van and like have a snack and watch this built-in TV. And you want to go like road tripping and just like see the whole country? It's like you can cover the whole like even
you can do that in 6 seconds.
you could run crazy fast and GL could like fly above you.
Mhm.
Not quite the same speed, but you know, close
Well,
enough.
apparently his fucking constructs can construct at the speed of light.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Ugh, that's frustrating.
We'll get to that. But yeah, so the Flash buys this van, and then he sees, Gordon Godfrey talking about how bad the Flash is for taking on sponsorships and how they're all just heroes who think they're better than everyone. And so the Flash tries to go in and dig himself out of the hole, but he's not very bright. And so he succumbs to Godfrey's just most ridiculous arguments possible.
Oh, it's the most like conservative talking points.
It's funny because we got a number of comments on last week's episode about how like weirdly prescient that it is now. Like it's more relevant now than it was when it was made 20 years ago. And yeah, Gordon Godfrey is absolutely just like the insane
Tucker Carlson.
Yeah,
he's literally just Tucker Carlson.
He's just Tucker Carlson, essentially, at the end of the day. Yeah, his arguments make no sense in context, but he says such stupid things that only the Flash get tripped up by. Because he says things like, how do you justify the fact that since the League was formed, 50% of all marriages end in divorce and the other 50% end in death?
Yeah.
And the Flash is like, wait, what? I don't.
Well, because then this is I found this funny and frustrating because it was the old argument for video games.
Oh yeah,
and it's kids that look up to these heroes, do worse in school. They don't get along with their siblings, and they won't eat their vegetables.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm like, these are literally the points from like anti-video game propaganda from 1994.
Also, just what kids do.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole point. Like that was the whole case of like the Mortal Kombat trial.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, but so it's weird that they included Godfrey in this. It's like they had two different ideas that they couldn't quite get enough material out of, and so they just kind of crammed them together because they really are almost entirely unrelated. And they come together at the end, kind of. But it's also interesting that they would have chosen like Gordon Godfrey to be this character because I suppose my first exposure to him would have been this show back in the day, but he was a one-off character. But Young Justice portrays him in a very accurate sense, which he's he's an emissary of Darkseid, and he's basically a human propaganda machine. And he's sent to Earth. Tucker Carlson, exactly. Wait a minute.
Hold on a second.
Hang on. Found something.
I think that's why they had to give him the British accent in Young Justice.
I think so because
they didn't. It was like, oh, is this?
It's just Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Because he, in Young Justice, he's sent there to basically turn popularity against superheroes and against the Justice League specifically, which is basically what Godfrey is doing here as well, but to no greater purpose. He's basically just doing it to be a git.
Yeah.
Like, because this character never comes back again. And we've already established we had a lot
He's not in JLU?
Nope, he never comes back again. This is his only appearance.
So sucks.
And there's no like hint that he might be somehow connected to Darkseid. Like even the first introduction of Bruno Mannheim and Intergang way back in Superman. That episode ended with it wasn't Desaad, but it was whatever. I can't believe I'm blanking on the guy's name. The armorer, basically, like the guy who makes the weapons for.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Not who's the villain from Justice League, the movie.
Yeah, I'm forgetting because it's so forgettable. It'll come back to us. It'll come back to us eventually. Yeah.
I can't get past Stronghold because I just watched Sky High again.
Okay, yeah. The guy that no one cared about.
Yeah.
But even that episode in Superman ended with Steppenwolf.
There it is. Thank you.
Yeah. Even that episode ended with the guy going through a boom tube back, like, oh, we know what this is setting up.
Yeah.
There's none of that here. This is no relation to Darkseid whatsoever. Like you can maybe headcanon that has something to do with him. At the end of the day, it's just some guy being a prick for the sake of being a prick.
I was a little upset that he like quote unquote got his comeuppance, because I don't think that makes sense. Because like basically at the end of the episode, in the middle of the episode, he very much been like ban the Justice League, call up every world leader, and say we don't want the Justice League. And I guess because of that negative propaganda, he lost all of his sponsors and his time slot. And his studio space.
I think it was more that because he had taken on such a strong negative stance against the Justice League, and then they go and literally save the world by preventing the sun from collapsing,
which they started.
Yes, but no one knows they started it.
It's why we need cameras in the watchtower.
But yeah, I think that was the general idea, was like popularity then, swung back in the opposite direction. Everyone loves them again because they saved the planet, and then, all the sponsorship was pulled. But like, so what about it to like upset you?
Because that's not real. And also because I love this character. I think he's so much fun. He's frustrating for sure.
I mean, he's fun in other shows when he's better utilized. Or
Yes.
you liked him in this specifically.
Well, I wanted him. I mean, just in general, I like this character.
Yeah.
This version is okay because there's a part of him. Because in Young Justice, like that is not a character. That is just him all the time.
Yeah.
He's always this very angry man.
Right.
But in this, they kind of spin it where like that's a personality. Where like when Flash comes on and the cameras turn off, he's just like, oh hey, cool, like thanks for coming by. That was great for ratings.
Yeah, well done.
Come by whenever you want. That was fun.
Yeah.
Like, I love that idea that he's just like a normal guy outside of this.
Right. It's just all persona. There's no genuine passion behind what he's saying. He just does it because it's popular.
Yeah.
People love him for it, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
For being a total a-hole.
Yeah. And so like I don't think he should have lost his I don't think he should have lost everything.
Okay.
I think you could have maybe had like it panned back to the crowd after that, and it's just like one guy, or maybe the audience is empty and it's just Flash, and it's him having to make like a formal apology.
Okay.
He's like, these guys aren't always bad. I do have to like, because it did Iron Man 2 when Tony gets the pin and the general has to put it on, he pricks him.
Yeah.
Yeah, have that where Godfrey has to like give Flash a medal for something.
Oh, okay, that would have been a bit
and
of
then
a
it's
better.
like just Wonder Woman in the audience, or someone is in the audience.
Yeah.
But it's not his normal. It's not the crazy fans.
Okay, it's not just him in like some random like hallway with a couple of homeless guys sitting in folding chairs watching his show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a weird kind of forced button they put on the whole thing.
Yeah, and I like ending it with him. Just don't make it such a severe drop, because he'd just be fired. He's not going to lose you're not going to move. You don't move Tucker Carlson to 4:15 in the morning.
I mean, I wish they would. But
wish they would.
You have a surprising amount of sympathy for this Tucker Carlson proxy in this episode, Cameron. It's a little bit concerning for me.
Hey, I grew up in Dallas. What can I say?
Fair enough, yeah. But yeah, so like that, there's that whole subplot. But I mean, it's kind of fun. It's just basically the idea of the Flash having to prove he's an actual hero.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it ultimately pans out is that, of course, the vengeful snake spirit passed through different members of the Justice League. They don't know that they've been possessed because they just lose their memory. So it's kind of like a which one of us is bad sort of thing.
Which I thought was fun. Like that part was great, where Flash is trying to run away from the corrupted League.
Yeah, and that whole sequence plays it really well, of him like stuck in the Watchtower by himself, can't get a hold of Batman, and it's the other 5 Justice Leaguers who all severely outpower him, hunting him down. And this isn't a territory, like this isn't where he is going to thrive in a confined space station.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun seeing him on the run a little bit and having to think on his feet, no pun intended there. But it's a little... That one sequence was kind of good.
I thought that was... I mean, we said the commercials are the best part. Outside of the B plot, that was the best part of the A plot. Yeah. Is the Flash having to figure out, how do I take out the strongest people in our sector?
Yeah. And his solution is just to open up like the reactor of the Watchtower and just flash them all with a big light bulb.
Yeah. He pulled a Gremlins on him.
He did, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
He fed them after midnight, and it was a bad choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you're right. It would be interesting if he actually had to outthink everyone and individualize his attacks and strategy. If he had to be a little bit like a Batman in that regard, so that could have been a little more interesting. But it's that very convenient thing of everyone turns on him. He's able to evade them long enough, and then one thing cures them all in a moment's notice. Mm-hmm. And it all felt very well trod territory. Like nothing about this felt super inventive or clever, and the stuff that was weird and different just felt forced and unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have other ideas, but here's my quick pitch just for that part. Okay. So fuck the whole solar planet bullshit.
Yeah. The collapse the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so stupid.
It's really stupid.
We haven't even got to that part yet. But yeah, none of that exists anymore. Mm-hmm. It is Flash on the space station by himself. You can bring back, because I know it's a plot in Young Justice where we learn that the Watchtower has a giant laser on it. Mm-hmm. You bring back that was put on by the Justice Lords as kind of the ultimate Earth ultimatum. Yeah. And the big button, not the button, the big threat is Manhunter arming a weapon for Earth. Okay. And Flash has to get around the rest of the team to stop him. So then you can have those one-on-ones, and you still have this timer, this ticking timer, ticking bomb, that causes him to panic, but he still has to, be his best Batman.
I agree that would have been more interesting, and I suppose this is a retroactive justification, but there are things in Starcross that will then come back around again in Justice League that would have made it not work quite as well if the Watchtower already had a giant laser cannon on it. So, but I agree with you. The threat should have been the League, and not just like the League doing something really passive like blocking out the sun. Like it should have been a more direct, active threat to the League that the public never got a chance to see, but Flash recognizing that like he has to not only stop this from happening, but also like never let anyone know that it came so close to happening, because he's seen how quickly the public can turn on heroes and how dangerous they could be. That would have been more interesting, you're right?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so idea B off of that, to prove that the heroes are good and to show that they are good, Flash is now filming everything in the Watchtower.
Oh, okay, I see.
And then you get to, this is how you bring Godfrey back as well. You see him kind of like, this is where he's doing Cribs, his best Cribs impression, because that'd be fucking hilarious to see Flash do MTV Watchtower.
Yeah.
And
Batman would be so pissed.
He'd be so pissed.
He'd be so pissed.
But in these shots, you see like in the background, you see Martian Manhunter fiddling with the javelin.
Yeah.
You see the clues of who is being possessed in these shots. And then you go on, you see, even with this, I guess you could still keep the bomb. You shouldn't, but I guess you could technically, because then you see that it is the Justice League's fault.
Yeah.
And somehow, maybe he sends it to his agent. Just be like,
yeah,
hey, like, I know, like, no, we're not on good terms right now, but like, if you could get this to somebody, that'd be great. And he gives it to Godfrey, and now he has leverage over the League.
Okay, I mean that is also complex, but I think in a better way than what we got.
It's still very complex.
Yeah, can we talk about the agent for a little bit?
Why it wasn't just what's his favorite, Bernie Rast?
Oh, that would have been really fun actually if they brought back Bernie Rast, because like the agent we get here is the most like unrealistic, stereotypical agent ever. Now, look, I worked at an agency.
Yeah.
I worked at a top agency.
You did.
I never had to deal with people quite like that. They probably exist to some degree.
Do you know who this is, though?
Who?
It's The Critic from the 1990s show The Critic.
I mean, but that's okay. That's fair, because that's kind of what this is.
Yeah.
Because like it's such a cartoonish exaggeration of what like I guess a kid would think an agent was like. I've been lucky that pretty much any of the agents I've ever dealt with have actually been pretty solid people.
Good.
Work really hard, a little intense sometimes, but overall, like supportive, solid, hardworking, like normal, rational, like heartfelt people.
And I guess we don't meet Ari Gold for another 2 years after this episode.
That's true. Yeah, that's coming down the line.
Yeah, who is now the first thought when people think of what is a Hollywood agent is Ari
exactly,
Gold.
and that's based off the real person Ari Emanuel. Who is, I think, that kind of crazy. But the thing is like this
from
guy
Entourage,
for Entourage, of course.
If it was on the tip of your tongue, you can think he's from Entourage.
But this guy
our
is
our favorite version of California.
Yes,
where there's no traffic
except for Californication.
What?
No, never mind. But this is this guy good at his job? He's taking, like, the Flash is just really bad because the Flash doesn't realize this guy is taking 60% of his pay cut, which is way beyond the normal 10% that an agent would take. And he's not even getting in particularly good gigs, but like, I guess he must have sold, because one of the plot points is that the Flash basically refuses to do a Gas X ad, like a Pepto-Bismol ad, basically.
It's just Pepto-Bismol.
And like pushes back and makes fun of the director on camera, and that gets captured. And so to basically like pay off the debt of that the director is going to call on the agent for setting all this up, the agent sells off the footage to Godfrey, and I guess he must have made an insane amount of money off it. Either that or he's just really bad with his money, which is probably very likely, because then every time we see him after that, he's in like this really nice office, and he's always got two beautiful girls like doing his nails or giving him like a back massage and stuff. And look, as a kid's cartoon, I get it, but it felt so silly and over the top.
Yes.
It's like, you guys have agents, you know what this is. It's supposed to be funny, I guess, but I just found it kind of dumb.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think he's good at being scummy at his job.
Yeah.
Because Flash isn't an actor. He is, I'll make the equivalency again. He's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He's a guy that everyone knows, and they're capitalizing capitalizing on that.
Yeah.
So he doesn't care about how all this works. He doesn't care about money. He's like, oh, cool, I have some extra cash to spend.
Woo.
Just bought a van.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. I just bought a sword. 'Cause
Yeah.
why not?
Because why not? I mean, I guess that's fair. Like, I don't think this guy works at one of your like top tier agencies. I think he's probably just
No, it's the first guy that reached out to Flash.
yeah. He's just some random guy
and
who
Flash's like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like I can do 17 takes in 5 seconds.
yeah. He's got his just like an office like above a deli on Sunset Boulevard somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
He's not particularly good at what he does, but I mean, like it injected some like fun and levity into it, but all that just also felt like such a tonal contrast from this like weird, like how is it in the same episode that we are introduced to a one-off ancient snake people, we get a cartoonish, buffoonish Hollywood agent?
Yes.
None of this makes any sense whatsoever.
What if he was a snake person?
Maybe that would have made more sense.
That would
Would have made way more
all
sense.
agents are snake people.
Yeah, well, I mean, not far off there. But it's just like, it felt like it was all there just to give the show the button. So you had like the Godfrey button, and then you have the other button of now Mofir is doing, the Pepto-Bismol ad at the very end of it.
Yeah.
Which I guess is supposed to be funny.
I thought it was funny.
Okay, I don't know. I think I was so checked out at that point. I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So let's finish the rest of this episode.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there. Oh.
Uh,
So this has all been dumb, ridiculous nonsense, but then it tries to be science nonsense.
Yes.
And really goes off the deep end.
they're able to throw the NHL, whatever it's called, DHL,
The anti-fusion device, the AFD.
AFD, the
Yes.
NFL,
Exactly.
into the sun in seconds.
Yeah.
And then Flash healed everyone from the crystal shards that Hawkgirl had smashed into them.
Yes.
And now they have to figure out how do we stop the sun from imploding.
Right. Because there's a period there where it's still just floating towards the sun. You think, oh, maybe they're going to intercept it. But then, no, it actually makes contact, and we can see the sun start to like collapse in on itself.
And I was not expecting it to implode. I was expecting like a sunspot.
Oh yeah,
That
no.
is a real thing.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's anti-fusion, so I guess the idea is somehow it counteracts the fusion reaction that I guess is happening inside the sun.
Yep.
Again, we're outside of my realm of engineering and science knowledge at this point. But I think we're outside the realm
of real science.
of real science, of any science.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the sun's collapsing. So they're like, oh, how do we fix this? What's their solution, Cameron?
Flash is gonna run to the sun. No, okay. So in the javelin, which now we can kind of guess can go the speed of light or near speed of light.
Well, it has a wormhole generator.
Which that works the same way as the fucking thing from Back to the Future.
The flux capacitor?
Yes.
No, the flux capacitor travels through time.
In the sense of it has to reach a certain speed in order to activate.
Oh, okay. They have to get the javelin up to 88 miles an hour.
You have to get it to 8. You have to get it as close to light speed as possible for the wormhole.
Oh, I see
to
what you
activate.
mean. I see what
Yes.
you mean. Because it only works when the javelin is being propelled at that speed to begin with.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is just Back to the Future now. I just realized.
It basically is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now Flash has to run across space to activate the wormhole device by also just throwing it into the sun.
Yeah, he has to run so fast that the device can activate, and then he can pitch it into the sun.
Yes. And the way he does it, the way he runs in space, is Green Lantern creates a constructed bridge
Yes.
that Flash just runs across that I guess also can generate at the speed of light. So he could have just done that himself.
I think the idea is like that the construct was already moving at high speed and the Flash was moving at high speed on top of it.
Yes.
So it'd be like Ant-Man running on a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of thing. Like he already has a fixed speed. Now I'm trying to like make this work. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop trying to make this science.
Well, no, because the bridge isn't moving.
That's the impression I got was that didn't
The bridge is
GL throw him
and then started his construct.
Oh, I see. So the bridge is just staying as it is. That is just like
the bridge is generating at the speed of light.
like millions of miles long.
Yes. Across from the distance from Earth to the sun.
I can look it up. I'm not going to.
I'm not going to
It's
either.
It's a long ways.
Yeah.
To put it mildly. There are 2 planets between us and the sun.
There are.
Yes.
And yeah, so Flash throws the warp drive in, and it explodes next to the sun, absorbs just the bad shit that's going on, not the whole sun.
It absorbs just the anti-fusion reaction and not the actual sun itself.
Yes. Which like is gonna land somewhere else in space.
It doesn't.
GL, this is your job. Your job is space control. You're a space police officer. You should know not to just open a wormhole one next to the sun that'll just drop into someone else's sector. That's more work they have to do now.
Yeah, but it's someone else's problem.
Yeah, clearly.
Who cares?
It's out of Sector 2814, so fuck it.
Yeah. Sorry, Sector 2815.
I go down. Go 3, because that's Tomare.
Okay, whatever. Fine. that sector has enough issues as it is.
That's where Krypton was.
I know. That's why I said as in.
Yeah.
I do know some things.
Good.
But so okay, a question I have for you then is you made reference to GL actually making a construct. Are you counting the massive spacewalk that he builds? Or are you referring to the snake that he makes?
The snake.
So he does make a construct. However, I think we have to caveat this because it's not actually GL. It's the snake people possessing him.
But it's his ring.
It is his ring.
Yep.
So we've seen John Stewart Green Lantern make a construct, but he wasn't the one that chose to make it.
If we turned off the audio,
I think if anything, that actually does become a weird justification for why he does use the way he does. Like it proves you can make constructs. He just chooses not to.
Because he's efficient.
He's very
As
efficient.
we've been told by fucking every listener at this point.
And Bruce Timm.
I get it.
Yes.
I get it. He's efficient. I still want him.
Do you think he makes his own buzzers and gives himself that buzz cut?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No, because we know the neighborhood.
That's true. He has a barber he always goes to.
He's
That's
got a
right.
guy.
That's fair. You know, it's good to support local business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's supporting the economy.
He is. He's keeping the almighty economy afloat.
Yeah, let's see fucking Guy Gardner do that.
He wouldn't.
No, you know he constructs his own bowl.
Exactly. Yeah, he does. Bowl with one hand, scissors in the other. He's good to go.
Oh no, he's not holding either of them. Both are constructs.
Yeah.
So he just holds his hand up, creates the trimmers and the bowl.
Yeah, it's bzzz, done. Yeah.
He does it every morning. That's his morning routine.
He even creates his own like drop cloth.
Yeah, it's got to be crisp.
Yeah. But you know him. He keeps the hair in the drop cloth, but rather than like just sending it to a pocket dimension to get rid of it, he just pushes it outside the window and lets it fall on whatever passerby is going.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's a dick.
Because he's hoping it's Hal.
That's true.
It hit him once, and it was Guy's best day.
That's true. No, he actually consciously sends the bubble full of hair to go fall on Hal Jordan.
Yes.
Maybe that's why he became Parallax. It had nothing to do with Coast City getting destroyed.
Blown up.
He just got so tired of getting hair thrown at him.
Yeah, I'd get mad.
I like this headcanon. I'm here for it.
Is hair worse than glitter?
No. Glitter's the worst.
You think so? Okay. I think they're bad in their own respects.
Glitter really clings to you. Like
Yes.
if you like take a shower, you can get hair off of you. You can
Mhm.
take a shower and still have glitter everywhere.
That's true.
Yeah. No, glitter is inescapable.
But hair always ends up in your mouth somehow.
But glitter can too.
Yeah, I guess it's just not as. I guess I'm just not around glitter as much as I am my own hair.
Well, I live in West Hollywood.
That is true.
You just walk down the street and people are just throwing glitter.
Every day,
Just glitter bombs going
That's
off
Hollywood,
left and right.
baby.
Yeah, exactly.
where the streets are paved with gold.
Yes. And glitter. But yeah, this is a dumb fucking episode and I hated it.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a few other ideas for how they could have made this better.
I mean, you don't have to go through so many, Cameron. There's a lot of options here.
There's a lot of options. Here's the one that I would have rather seen.
Okay.
Have it be Clarion.
Okay.
He's the one hunting for the gem, or the
Okay.
gem is connected to his power. Some way, because I think Clarion is a great villain.
Yeah, he's good.
And also bring in Zatanna for this episode.
Oh, yeah.
I would say Dr. Fate, but we're going to see him in the next episode.
Right.
I would love to see Zatanna join the League, and then have
Well, that's not going to happen.
not join the League.
Team up with
with
the
the
League.
League.
Yes.
Yes. Join the League on this adventure.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want it, but Bruce Timm would definitely write it in. They would have had Batman and Wonder Woman drama come in with Zatanna,
Okay.
because we know Batman flirts with everything.
Yeah.
Or no, I'll rephrase that. Everything flirts with Batman.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
for
fair.
good reason.
It's for good reason.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's the cape.
Yeah, and have not lizard people,
Yeah.
have it demons
Okay.
that are powered by Clarion.
Okay.
And then you can have it the same way. He possesses the League
Mm-hmm.
to do various things. Zatanna's trying to figure out how he's doing it
Yeah.
through this weird crystal. Still have the Flash be the hero. Maybe the last thing it absorbs, maybe the last thing it possesses is Zatanna.
Mm-hmm.
It's the two of them together. Don't have them all get hit at once. Have it be your horror setup,
Yeah.
where it's hide and seek. Find one person, they're possessed. Find the next person, they're possessed.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's again Flash versus everyone, because I love that idea.
Yeah.
Bring in magic, and we also know, I guess, in Young Justice, we know Wally loves to think he's magic.
Yeah. Now you're at a stretch here. I don't.
Yeah. Now I'm going too far. I haven't thought this far through. I just think it would have been
It's
better
fine.
with Zatanna and Clarion.
Like, I agree with you. I think grounding it in something we'd already seen before would have been better than this. I mean, I guess, look, the one nice thing about them doing it this way is that there is no canonical reason for us to ever talk about it again.
Exactly.
Like, it can just disappear.
Morgana can come back. Morgana and Etrian can come back.
You just want Morgana back.
I do.
You just want anything
I
Arthur.
just want more. Yeah, I just want more King Arthur. Talk.
Exactly. Every episode would be better if King Arthur were in it in some capacity.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No. These
It could have been the Holy Grail.
These weren't great. I'm pretty sure I can say that this is the last slump we're gonna have
Okay.
before going forward. Because yeah, pretty much everything else. Like, I know all the rest of the episodes are good, and then one of them I think should be good. It's Secret Society, so it's Grodd and the rest of Secret Society.
Ooh.
I think that one's pretty good if I recall.
Okay.
But the other ones are all very memorable. So
Cool.
which is very exciting to get to. But yeah, I think that does it for this. So
Good.
yeah. And we weren't feeling particularly imaginative or creative this week, so no question corner this time.
No,
so
I
why don't
was
we
too
just
angry.
just too angry having watched these? So let's just do some bat plugs and then call it a day.
Sure.
All right, what do you got?
Let's see. What have I been watching, listening, reading? I don't remember plugging this, but I finished the first book from the Kingdom Keepers series, the children's books.
Which ones were those?
That is where 5 kids.
You pitched this
Okay.
Disneyland.
Yeah. So I
Yes.
started book 2.
It's Westworld, but Disneyland.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's fun. It's a very fun series.
Okay. It continues to be good. In
Yes.
Book
Yeah.
2? Okay.
Yeah. Book 2 takes place in a different park. So
Mhm.
book 1 is Magic Kingdom. Book 2 is Hollywood Studios, I think. I literally just started it before coming here.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But I need my Disney fix wherever I can get it.
Yeah. Did they go on the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster?
Probably.
Yeah.
And then another plug I already kind of plugged, but I'm plugging a different part of it. Is I mentioned binge mode a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
in their Harry Potter
Mm-hmm. Series.
series. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I recently just started their walkthrough through the Marvel universe,
Oh, okay.
and it's very good.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing to see people who were good at this doing their job.
Are you saying that some people who do this sort of stuff aren't good at it?
Yes,
Who could that possibly be?
not people in this room.
Not
we are
I.
always prepared.
Not I, says I.
Yes, I see no mirror looking back at me.
But no, so like, are they covering all the movies?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In very good detail.
Okay.
It's very fun. It honestly, it feels like a college essay about the movies.
Okay.
They're like super in depth. For Iron Man, because I listened to Iron Man and Hulk.
Mm-hmm. Each movie gets its own episode, I
Yes.
presume.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, they're about an hour and a half to 2 hours
Okay,
deep
yeah.
diving in the movies. And it's very fun. One thing that I really enjoy they do, and I think it might get old as we get through the movies, but it's fun for now,
Mm-hmm.
is at the end of the episode, they debate each other on who the MVP of the movie is.
Oh, that's clever. Okay.
Yeah. And so the first movie, it was between Yin Sin.
Yinsen. Okay.
Yep, because not Yin Sid, because that's Disney
Mm.
backwards. Yin Sin.
Why do you know that?
He's a Disney character. That's the name of the sorcerer from Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Mhm.
All right.
Is Yin Sid.
Justified.
So Yin Sin, and the other one argued that it's actually just Robert Downey Jr., which
Okay.
is a hard argument to beat.
I was gonna ask, like, is it are they MVP character or just MVP of the film?
I think it's supposed to be character, but
they're
they
just
just
like-
picked RDJ.
Honestly, that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, without
like-
him,
you wouldn't have any of this.
no,
Yeah,
you really wouldn't.
He is Tony Stark.
He is. Yeah, and like without Robert Downey Jr., the Marvel Cinematic Universe would not be what it is today.
Yeah, so they do it in professional debate format. So they
Okay.
have a minute of opening arguments and then 30 seconds of rebuttal.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
and
actually-
then they let the audience vote afterwards.
Okay, nice.
It's fun. It's a very cool, something I hadn't heard in
Yeah,
podcast before.
no, that's clever. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'll have to go check those out.
They're very in depth. I learned a lot about Hulk.
Yeah, look, I love a good in-depth analysis. I mean, I spend most of my weeks listening to in-depth analysis on film scores.
That's true. You do.
So continues to be a great podcast. I've now reached the James Bond three-part
Oh,
saga. I'm almost like I almost don't want to listen to it yet.
I know. I get it.
I wanted to like just know that it's there waiting for me.
I definitely get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you? What have you been watching, listening, reading?
Because we've been talking so much about Green Lantern, I'm going to plug. I think I may have already actually plugged this once before, but I rewatched to brush up my knowledge a video from the great guys over the Watchtower database, and it's James Strecker, his video on the Green Lantern Corps of the DCAU explained, the complete history of the Green Lantern Corps in the DCAU. It's a really fun video. If it makes you feel any better, Cameron, even James did not have good answers to the weird myriad complexities of the Green Lanterns in this
Good.
universe. Like they're
Bad police officers.
Well, there's that, but there's just a serious lack of consistent or in-depth knowledge or data points to build anything off of. It's like John's been a Green Lantern for 15 years. We have no idea what he's been doing this entire time. Are there one or two per sector? We don't know. Like it's just kind of they just do whatever they want on the whim as they need per episode, and then it's just a big mess if you're trying to make a consistent continuity out of it the way they are trying.
Yeah.
But it's a fun episode. It's really informative. Plus, the best part about it is watching James just try to pronounce all the weird alien and planet names.
Mogo.
He's got a lot of really fun bits thrown in there too. It's well worth a watch if you like this sort of stuff. Which
Kizak is one of them.
that sounds familiar. I don't know. They were all just weird and incomprehensible and full of consonants. So
There's a Green Lantern who is the secretary for the Guardians.
of course.
I think Salak is his name. He's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done. But yeah, so I always want to give a shout out to those guys. And then along those lines, kind of a plug / announcement.
Oh.
So the Watchtower Database guys just made an announcement on one of their live streams recently about the unveiling of the Pod Tower. Yes, so it is a new YouTube channel that they're putting out as a way to, one, rebrand and relaunch their 12th Level Illness podcast, which they did for a while and bring it back around. But it's also going to be us uniting with them and Cal and Liam over the DCAU review to make one big center point of DCAU content on YouTube. So the cool thing about this is that it means that we finally are going to have all of our episodes up on YouTube, which up to this point has not been the case.
Yes.
And
not videos of us, just the audio.
Yes, that's
but
fair,
it's
yes.
another place we can listen.
Exactly. It's another place to listen.
I would love to film this bullshit.
Oh my God.
It'd be so much more work.
So painful. No, so much more work for me. But yeah, like up to this point, there have been like the first 65 episodes were on there. There are a few in the middle that didn't automatically get uploaded by Podbean, our former podcast platform.
That sounds so bitter. They could sponsor us one day.
They're not going to Podbean's not going to sponsor us one day. I'm not too worried about that. Their platform did not give us what we needed, so now we're on Captivate, and they're great.
Good.
But they don't automatically publish to YouTube. But to be fair, Podbean sometimes forgot to automatically publish to YouTube. So the nice thing is that for the first time ever, all of our videos will be up on our YouTube channel. So basically what's going to happen is, there's a whole bunch of videos that were already on our channel. James has gone to an incredible amount of work to basically convert and output and upload like the first 65 some on episodes that are up on the Pod Tower YouTube. But what I've done now is create playlists on our channel. So by the time this episode goes out, the playlist should be done. And there'll be a very convenient playlist that'll have all of the numbered DCAU episodes in order, and a separate playlist for all of our bonus random episodes in order.
Yeah.
Which will be lovely. And at least for now, I'll continue to post our videos on probably both platforms as we roll out, and then we'll see if eventually everything's just going to convert over to there. But no matter what, you'll be able to still access our videos via playlist on the new one. So we're working out some of the specifics. But I know we have more and more people subscribing and listening on YouTube, which is awesome. Comes at a weird time to then sort of shepherd everything off to a different source. But I think it's well worth doing because, we kind of do this for the fun of it, but we say all the time, like, watch our database guys and also Cal and Liam at the DC Review. Like, they really do great work and all this sort of stuff.
Yes.
I'm just going to say it. They're the better source for this.
They're
better.
If you want a professional listening of this,
yeah,
listen to them.
If you want to,
we are not professional.
Exactly. Yeah. And Cal and Liam have started
We're
getting
two guys that took an improv class and thought that we could do this.
They thought we could do this. We can't. But yeah, like, DC Review, they're getting some great guests on and stuff. And so it's a nice place to go, just kind of everything all in one convenient location. But no, very excited to be a part of that. And also just a huge thanks to James for doing all this work while having a brand spanking newborn.
Yeah.
At the same time. Like, he's like literally raising a child while also trying to give birth to an entire new YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. It's really impressive work, James.
It's a rough delivery.
Yes, it is. He's got to drag us idiots along with him the entire time. But no, very, very excited about that. Yeah, so that's a plug/announcement.
Amazing.
Yeah, so there'll be some different links down in the show notes for you to go find that sort of stuff. And, go and subscribe to the Pod Towers. I mean, a lot of great stuff on there, including our videos going forward and really good stuff from them. So, yeah. But I think that does it for us this week. We did it. Yeah, wow. we made it through.
Good.
These garbage episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is our comeuppance for having had such a great time last week.
I think so. I think, yes. Yeah. This is the universe correcting itself.
Exactly.
It's reminding us that we made it through Zeta. We can make it through this too.
We can make it through this too. Yes, this too shall pass. But luckily, next week we're coming back and we're talking about The Terror Beyond, which you started to watch.
Dr. Fate,
Aquaman, Solomon Grundy. I remember when those episodes aired, they were really, really good. So I'm excited to get into those.
I'm such a sucker for Dr. Fate.
Yes.
I think he has one of the coolest powers and costumes.
Yeah. And this universe does a great job with him too.
Yes.
So really, really looking forward to those. But until then, thank you for listening. If you have thoughts on these episodes, if you have preemptive thoughts about our topic next week, The Terror Beyond, and want to send in some thoughts on that, you can find us at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail.
Or if you have questions, because I am not creative right now.
Yes, if you have suggestions for other questions for Cameron's Question Corner, write in and let us know. Could be DCAU themed, could not be DCAU themed.
Doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Ask me about Green Lantern.
Don't ask me about Green Lantern.
Ask me about Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Don't ask about Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I've never watched that.
Oh, wow.
I have nothing to contribute to that conversation.
It's interesting.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know. Send us some questions.
Yes.
Always appreciate those. And then you can find me at Lordifer on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes. If you want to see my art, you can find that at Cameron.Dexter. If you want to see my face, you can find that at CamDexter_adventures.
Whee!
I had a great adventure this week.
Yes, you did, actually. Yeah. You did have a hell of an adventure this week.
Did.
Yeah. But it's all good. Things are back to normal.
Yes.
Well, this version of normal.
Yeah.
This hellscape that's still now normal. So,
yeah.
Yes. But we don't want to get into negative stuff. Let's end on a positive note. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We always appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Ba-ba.